All right, welcome back. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to handle this A through F business, all right, using this graph that we have, this new piecewise graph. All right, so part A, I want F of -1. All right, that's easy, right? We're just going to put 1 into our equation, right? So this is just 3 times 1 minus 2, which is 3 minus 2, which is 1. All right, so F of 1 is 1. The next thing they want is the domain of this graph. Let's see if I can move this thing down a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to move that down there. Okay, so now they want the domain of this graph. So what are all the x values of this graph? Well, that was kind of given to us up at the top of the problem, right? We want to start at -1. We're going to include it, right, because it's greater than or equal to -1. Then we're going to go out to infinity. All right, parenthesis on the infinity. Now, what about the range? Right now, if you have trouble finding the y value, the first y value, you're going to plug -1 into the equation. If you do that, we could do that in our heads. That's -3 minus 2, which is -5. All right, we could see that this y value right here, the y value is -5 right there. That's not too bad to see on this particular graph. All right, so our y value is -5. And again, we're going up, up, and up on that graph, so we're also going to positive infinity for the range. What about the x-intercept? All right, that's where our it's where our graph crosses the x-axis in our graph. Now, this is not a guessing game, all right, so use that equation if you need to. Remember, to find the x-intercept, you let y equal 0, so 0 equals 3x minus 2. Add 2 to both sides. Divide both sides by 3. And you can see that we definitely don't get a whole number, right? Look at my graph, it's kind of messy, right? Hard to tell, but our x-intercept is actually 2/3 0, all right? That's our x-intercept right there. All right, now our y-intercept is where our graph crosses the y-axis, and that's easy for this problem, right? We did that at the very beginning of this problem. It's actually in the equation, -2, right? So we want 0, -2 for our y-intercept. And now they're asking you if this function is continuous. In other words, is it possible to draw this thing without lifting our pen? And for this problem, the answer is yes, because it's just a ray, right? It starts down in the 3rd quadrant, and we could just draw an arrow straight up to the right, and that would give us our graph without even lifting our pen. So again, continuity has to do with whether we have to lift our pen or not while we draw our picture or our graph. We don't have to, so this graph, this function is continuous. All right, let's move on to number 2.